Hey, it's Mike Draper with AWC TV, and boy, do we have a great story for you. A window cleaner from North Carolina and a window cleaner from Missouri, and how they meet, and then also how they, one of them, helped the other one out, and so that he could help grow his business. So we're talking to none other than Joe Hardy from North Carolina, and also Lewis from, I'm thinking Columbia, Missouri, or Rolla, Missouri, right?
Rolla, Missouri.
Rolla, Missouri. Very good. So how did you guys first meet? I mean, how did you guys come in contact with each other?
I would have to say, I think it was off my page to window cleaning and pressure washing without the so-called experts. Am I right, Lewis?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you met online, and so now how did it come about that, Joe, how did you learn about Lewis's business and maybe just needing some help?
Well, I was wanting to get into doing a little bit with helping people out, and I wasn't sure what value I'd be able to bring to people, whether it'd be worth it. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do a giveaway and draw somebody and just draw a name. And I had met Lewis actually in person out in Missouri at the Reach It grand opening. And he was one of the people that registered for it. And sure enough, his name got picked. So it kind of made it a little bit easier on me because it was somebody I had actually talked to face before.
Okay, and so Lewis, what was your involvement? I mean, you're out doing your business, you're wanting to grow, wanting to do some things, and how do you think that Joe can help you at this point?
Really, Joe just came in here and helped me with some of my procedures. And I'm sorry, my son just broke into the room, guys.
He's fine.
This is Remington.
Hey, Remington.
Anyway, no, I had just reached out to Joe and asked him a few questions here and there, and they had the Reach It grand opening, and I knew he was going to be there, and it's only a 3-hour drive for me, so I decided that at that point I wasn't even in the window game yet. I had just wanted to go meet him more than anything because he'd helped me out so much just online with a few questions here and there whenever I'd ask. And I went to the Reach It grand opening and met him, and we talked, and it was literally about 3 weeks later, he was flying here to Missouri, and I picked him up, and he came and just went through my business.
Yeah, awesome. What are some of the things, Joe, you're basically, you fly out there and you're going to try to analyze his business in a week, which has its own challenges. But what are some things that you're going to really look at to make sure that, there's certain things that got to be in place, and if they're not, everything else will fall apart. So what are some things you were looking at?
First thing, I was not going in there telling anybody how to do a service.
Right.
I wasn't there for that because there's 100 different ways to do a service, and you can watch YouTube videos and learn that stuff. What I was more there was for the personal systems. And when I say that is how to get out and meet people, how to run your business and not let it ruin your family life, how to organize your business. Funny story with Lewis. I hope you don't mind me telling this. When I showed up, I told him, I said, I'm going to take your database and I'm going to go through your database. I'm going to make phone calls for you and we're going to book you up some work. And I'm confident in my ability to do that. And I figured him hearing me do it would be great. And next day he gave me his database, which was basically a blue pad. I opened it up, and out of like 70 people, there was like 10 phone numbers with them. I'm like, Lewis, I can't call nobody. We got no contact information. So we got him set up with a customer factor.
Okay.
And I think that's been a game changer for him. And pretty much I'm not telling somebody how to do the services. I'm telling them how to run the systems, because I know when I started out, that was one of the biggest struggles for me, was figuring out doing the work was easy. Mm-hmm. But coming back and sitting behind the desk and figuring out how to organize it and make the sales and that end of the business, the things you don't normally think about going into business, is what was killing me when I first started out.
Okay. And Lewis, what did you think before Joe got there? What did you think your problems were?
Honestly, I didn't know what my problems were. I'd been in business 6 months, before he came to get me, come out to Missouri. And I knew that there was definitely things to work on, but I didn't know there was to the extent of things that I needed. I thought I was doing good by all means, making a few pennies, and Joe came in here and put some systems in place, and now I'm making dollar bills. So It was just a matter of showing me how to advertise, how to get my business name out there, getting in front of people, networking, and what have you. I had no clue on how to network, and with him coming in here and showing me just a few simple things, I've done a lot of networking now, and I can clearly show that it's paying off a lot.
That's awesome. And Joe, you can speak to this. I'm gonna make a statement, and you just tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong. But part of the problem, and I really appreciate you for this, Lewis, because you are willing to look outside of what you're doing. And one mistake that guys make in business is they don't know what they don't know. And Lewis, you thought a blue book and all that was just fine. You didn't think you had any issues. And Joe was able to come in and show you a different way, just a little thing to alter things. So you cannot get caught in your little box and think you know everything.
That is correct, 100%.
Yeah. So it comes in, and I don't care about what worked out, but from an onlooker, I'm sitting there and I'm watching this thing play out, and he's broadcasting that he's going and he's going to do this and he's going to do that, and I thought it was just really cool. But how did that, touch you, Lewis? It had to have some sort of impact that a guy will come in from North Carolina and give, two cares about you.
It struck my heart. I ain't gonna lie. He came in here and he didn't BS around. He just told me straight how it was going to be, and what was going on. And I had my wife and my son was there with us the entire time. And funny thing with Joe, I wake up every morning and I look at Facebook and I'm looking for Joe's daily video. I've been doing that. And every time my son Remington hears his voice, he's Joe. Remington is Joe's best friend right now. It's funny. If you didn't hear him just a minute ago, he came in, Joe. But anyway, he just came in and it was wonderful. I can't believe somebody would take the time of day to come in and help me. I've never been a businessman. I was a truck driver for almost 12 years. I leased a truck and somebody took care of all the behind the scenes business stuff for me. I had never done any of this before. And him just coming in and helping just show me he didn't necessarily do much of I don't know the word I'm looking for. He didn't come in and say, this is the way it's got to be. This is the way you're going to do things. He just came in and kind of showed me things and kind of gently pushed me. As he says, I hope it's okay to say, he basically come in here and put a foot up my butt and told me to get to work. And that's exactly what I had to do. And I don't know if people have been following or not. I try, and ever since Joe came, I try and post videos about progress and things like that. I posted one just this morning when Joe came here, I had one job lined up and that was it. Right now I'm booked out 3 weeks. Wow. And that's just all from, I give him all the credit for it. I really do. Just from teaching me how to network, how to get out there and talk to people, how to present myself. That is the biggest thing right there. It's just how to present myself in front of customers.
Yeah, and it's some things that if you wouldn't have made this connection, how long do you think it would have taken to figure some of this out?
To tell you the truth, I don't know if I ever would have figured it out, because honestly, I don't know if I'd be in business right now if he hadn't come. Yeah. That's just the plain, that's straight up that, the wintertime in Missouri, yeah. I'm a pressure washer by trade and got into the windows. And that is one thing that he says. He didn't come in here and teach me much of anything service-wise or, how to do jobs. He's lying to you. He did. He come in here and showed me how to do windows, and I've been able to sell windows. And that's a great thing. I'm already, I got the traditional gear, and I'm already looking at trying to purchase some water-fed pole system come spring, So he just upped my game 100%.
That's awesome stuff. Joe, I'm going to switch to you for just a minute. What made you want to even do this?
Honestly, I'm tired of, and I'm not trying to put anybody down in the industry that makes a living off of coaching. I was tired of seeing the coaches that are the pay to be your friend coaches. There's some good ones, there's some bad ones out there. And as long as you got money, they're willing to be your friend. And then when the money runs out, they don't have it. And it's something I've always been against. And I wanted to get involved with coaching a little bit, but I wanted to do it in a way to where I'm giving value. And I still haven't completely worked that out. I'm going to be doing more of this traveling. Honestly, Lewis was the test subject to see whether it would work. And I got very fortunate in going out to Lewis that he was willing to implement the ideas I put in place. And I was nervous because we all know in this industry, people that do what I do are judged very harshly. Yeah. And when I actually announced that I was doing it and I started to give away, I was actually nervous. I'm like, boy, the negative feedback is just going to come on this. Amazingly enough, I've had no negative feedback. I actually have people just waiting for me to say, okay, I'm ready to start traveling and doing this. And I'm trying to work all the details out myself on it.
Yeah.
So it was very successful, but I was very nervous with it.
Right. One thing I appreciate too is we've talked offline a little bit about systems in place and being able to test those systems, right? And that's something that you've got to do. And the best way to test them is to step away from the business and let's see if those systems are in place. Will they work? And so, this coaching lets you do that. You get to get away. And I think your post even said, hey, I was gone and somebody booked I think it was like a $7,000 job while you were gone, right? So
and that's me and Lewis were talking about it. I'm sitting there talking to him and I'm telling him how to do things. And I think at first he wasn't believing me the first day or two. I'm like, yep, my office manager just sold another job. It's this much. Yep, we just sold another job. Oh, we're booked up 2 weeks now. And the whole time I'm sitting there talking with Lewis, doing his business. I'm not even really worried about mine. I think I got on the phone 3 or 4 times all week just to answer a simple question. My business was still running. I was still making money while I was out there. So to me, that was an amazing thing. And it gave me a chance to test my systems out to prove, hey, they work. Because if I'd have went out to Lewis's and my business falls apart while I'm gone, well, then you know what? What I'm preaching is not working. And nobody might not want to follow me there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So that's good. I mean, I just really appreciate the fact that I think this industry needs this more. Is we need some good mentors that can help guys like Lewis along, because I'm telling you, it's not all it's not all fun and a bed of roses when you first start. I mean, I had my business 14 years when I sold it, and I can tell you the struggle was real. A lot of people seen me at the end of the run and thought, oh, you got it made. And I'm like, well, you weren't with me the first year when I was working every day and I was out on Sundays and my wife hated me and all, the whole 9 yards that goes along with it. You didn't see any of that. But that struggle is real. And Lewis, I really appreciate you being humble enough to accept help, because a lot of guys won't. A lot of guys think they know everything.
Correct. I'm just humbled that he gave me the time of day and came. He has turned my business around. Like I said, I'm booking daily, and I was not doing that at all. I was 1 or 2 jobs a week, and now, like I said, I'm booked up for 3 weeks. I just cannot believe just taking what advice. It's not even stuff he told me you have to do. It's just advice that he had given me and lanes to go down, and it's just, I'm truly blessed. I'm blessed.
Yeah, well, that's such a wonderful story. You were saying that, every day, you get on Facebook and Joe shows up in your feed and, you're looking at him. And I'm just going to tell you, he shows up in my feed too. And whether I want him or to or not, it's always there.
That's right.
But no, we appreciate it. Guys, I think this is such a cool story. I really do. I know I don't even want to get into it and I don't care, but I know Joe didn't make a ton of money on coming out to see you. And
I didn't make nothing on that. It was
he didn't make nothing. I think it cost him a little bit of money, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. How cool. I mean, guys, you just don't see that happening very often. And you're both are stand-up guys, one for accepting the help, one for giving it. And I hope everybody that's watching this will kind of it's just a good story. I mean, and the other thing is, I just want to really put out there to guys is if you're in Lewis's situation and it's not working out quite like you want it to, reach out. There's a lot of good guys in the business, a lot of good guys that won't charge you, a bunch of money to put marketing and stuff in that in place.
Michael, I want to say something on that if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
I'd like to too.
One of the things I told Lewis when I come out to him, and we all know there's a bunch of type A personalities in this industry, is I said, Lewis, listen to what I'm saying, but also at the same time, whether I like somebody or not, listen to what they are saying. Put all this in one pot and then take it out. It don't matter whether me and that person get along. If they're willing to give you information, take it. And that's what I want to tell everybody. Yes, there's the rivalries and there's this and that, and this person don't like this. Ignore all that. Listen to everybody when you're starting out and put it all in a pot and take out what works for you. You can be friends with this person and still listen. There's people that I absolutely can't stand to talk to that honestly I watch their videos just to pick up knowledge myself.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's for sure. Lewis, what did you say about that?
I just wanted to say that I am humbled just since the time, people have heard Joe and I's story and how things happen. And people know that Joe came out here to help me. And daily, I get at least one message a day from somebody in the industry that is like me, brand new or a year in, 2 years in, that are reaching out to me, asking me for advice and tips and how do you do this? What do you do here? What do you do here? And I'm just humbled by that. I sit here and look at me like I'm 7 months in now, 7.5 months into business. And I'm a nobody as far as I'm concerned. But I have people reaching out to me daily and I'm just very humbled by it. And anybody watching this, don't be afraid to reach out. If I don't, I'll tell you, just like Joe tells me, if I don't know the answer, I know people that do. And it's easy to get the right answer. If you just give it a little bit of time, we'll come up with the right answer and we'll help you any way we can.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'll tell you why they reach out to you, Lewis, is because you're going through the same thing that they're going through. And people like to talk to people that are going through, similar things. And I know when I was coming up too, I always just, I just cherished getting 5 or 10 minutes with guys, maybe at the IWCA or whatever, that were had 35 guys out there. I just loved just give me 10 minutes of your time. I want to talk to you, and so this is a beautiful story. I love it. More people out there ought to take advantage of some coaching, some mentoring. It could change your business just like it did Lewis's. Joe, Lewis, I appreciate you guys coming on today, just taking the time out, and you guys are awesome. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Michael, for having us.
No
problem.
Thank
you for having us.
All right, guys. See ya. Stay tuned for our next episode of AWC TV by following us on YouTube, Facebook, or our website, awcmag.com.